What is up, everyone? It's the Golden Centurion here, back at it again with some Draft League content. So today I'm bringing you guys my CPC Draft Analysis. So I recently got promoted to CPC Majors. I was in CPC Minors last year. I didn't have a YouTube channel back then, so I didn't upload it. And now we're in the CPC Majors. It's a upload required league, so that's why I'm doing my draft analysis, as well as the fact that it's a points draft, so that kind of shapes how the team's going to be formed. All right, so without any ado, let's get right into this video. So my mega for this league is Mega Venusaur. It's a solid mega that I always enjoy using. With its ability Fig Fat, it has only like two weaknesses with Psychic and Flying. I mean, there's rare exceptions where if Amon has like Terrible or something where it just ignores my ability. But for the most part, it has two easy weaknesses that are pretty easy to patch up. So, when it comes to coverage, this thing can go physical or special, as you can see with its stats. Base 100 attack is alright. It can't get any boosting items, but it hits to where no one really wants to set up easily. Its special attack's really good though with base 122, and its defenses all the way around are great. Its HP is solid with 80, and its 123 defense and 120 special defense is nice, and a nice base 80 speed tier. So the moves it usually runs, if it's physical, you can see things like Earthquake, Pedal Dance. You get into coverage such as Knockoff, and then so that's basically its physical move pool. Generally, I will run it special though with things like Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, and then if I'm going up against something like a Heatran that will outwall me otherwise, I'll bring Earthquake. Some of the tech it runs, it has access to Leech Seed, which is always nice. It gets back some health and it takes health away from the opponent. Toxic to wear things down. Synthesis for some recovery, and then I know it gets screens, which is nice to allow Vermont's setup. So this is just a nice bulky tank. So next up we go to Jirachi, who is my first round pick. So Jirachi is very known to be basically any role you want it. I think if you take out Mew, it's the most versatile of like base 100 stat pixies. As Serene Grace abilities, well, it's kind of toxic as doubles the chance of everything. So double luck in people's favors. Base 100 stats around the board as it's a pixie. Its moves, you can have it be a rocker, you can have it be an encore, physical, special. Its coverage is insane. Has access to setup with things like Calm Mind. And I know its move pool is pretty great too. It has access to like, it has fire coverage, grass coverage, ice coverage, any coverage you really want. It can run screens, has access to power up punch for some setup. It's just an overall great mon, and the main reason why I like it is because it synergizes with Mega Venusaur. Mega Venusaur is weak to Flying and Psychic, which Jirachi resists both. Jirachi is weak to Ground, it's weak to Ghost, so Mega Venusaur doesn't really cover those, but I can get other mons to cover those. And it really just covers up Mega Venusaur's weaknesses. So it's a nice core. So next we go to my pick in Weavile. Weavile's a mon that I personally love. It's a speedy threat that's really nice to have. Base 125 speed tier. Outspeeds most things. I mean, there's those fast megas, and there's Tapu Koko and Jolteon. But for the most part, it'll be outspeeding the mons. Base 120 attack is solid. Its defenses are lackluster. And a Dark and Ice type means its stab is insanely good for offensive pressure. Items are usually something like Expert Belt, Life Orb, Choice Band, and if a dude's bringing a rain team, I might bring something like Choice Scarf. So its coverage is basically you're going to be running ice coverage, dark coverage, you'll run fighting coverage. You have priority with Ice Shard. You can go out in Pursuit to trap people. It just has generally overwhelm some nice coverage. It also has poison coverage to hit the fairies that are pretty pesky and annoying. And if I want it to be, it can be something like a Taunter. It has great access with Swords Dance. Swords Dance Ice Shard is always nice to have. And it can handle those ghost types that Jirachi doesn't like. Some downsides, it is extremely fragile to fighting coverage, especially. Like Infernape's Mach Punch or Lucario Vacuum Wave is knocking this thing out 1,000%. So that's something we have to be aware of. And it's weak to rocks. So next we go up into Terrakion. So Terrakion's a mod that I personally really don't like, but it fit the draft. So I decided to draft it. And I don't know why I don't like this thing, to be honest. It's never really let me down or anything. But it has decent bulk with 91 HP, 90 defense, 90 special defense. Its speed's pretty good with outspeeding those base 105s, base 100s, forcing anything 115 down to be a speed nature. This ability I think could be better. Justified's not really the best ability, but I guess when you have a Drachi and people go for dark coverage, you can switch into this thing. Now, it's set up as something that I do like with access to Swords Dance, Rock Polish. That's always nice to have, as well as the fact that, it gets Earthquake, Close Combat, Iron Head. So it has genuinely good coverage and Poison Jab. However, I'd probably run Iron Head most of the time. So it's mainly just a setup sweeper that can break walls. With a really solid base attack stat, it's really well at that. It gets Stealth Rocks if I want it to be my Stealth Rocker. Not too sure. This is also my Zmon, so something like Z Close Combat or Z Stone Edge will come in very nice. Also has X Scissors and Headbutt down here. So next we go to Milotic, who's one of my favorite bulky waters in the format. So Marble Scale is basically if I can run the Flame Orb event Marble Scale. So I get a defense boost. Its HP is great, or it's good there. Defense is nothing to sleep on. Special attack makes it where it's not too easily set up on. Special defense is insane, and it actually has a really nice speed stat that I think a lot of people forget about. So its coverage, I've had Milotic in multiple leagues, I can tell you for the most part, but I'm going to be running Recover, something like Toxic, Scald, Ice Beam, Mirror Coat, and Dragon Tail. That will guarantee you be those 6 moves, at least 3 of them will be on my set every time Milotic's brought. That's the main thing I bring with Milotic. You can run the coil set if you feel like it. I might bring that depending on the matchup, but for the most part, those 6 moves is what it is. So next we get to Togekiss, who's a mod who I always have fun with, always love. Once again, I'll probably be Serene Grace. So Togekiss Jirachi spam's really annoying for other people to go against, but I probably won't be the douche who brings Paraflinch. HP stats pretty good, attack stats are relevant, defense is semi-bulky, special attack's great, special defense is great as well. Speed tier base 80, which if you look at it, I have base 80, base 81, base 80. Like my speed tiers right now needs to get spread out a bit. Its coverage is insane. Has, for one, it's a defogger, hazard removal. It's a assisting sweeper. I think that's what the role's called. Basically, a nasty pass. You can set up a nasty plot and sweep of itself. Air Slash, Dazzling Gleam, Aura Spear, Ancient Power. Does it get heat? No, it gets Flamethrower. Psychic, Psyshock. So it's overall a great mon, but I personally enjoy using. Shadow Ball, Tailwind, Thunderwave, Tri Attack, Wish. Trick is also really nice to use. It's really diverse mon to use, and I always have fun using it. So it's mon I'm looking forward to using. So here we have my lower tier picks. So I went Golurk as I needed a spin blocker for one, and I needed some ground stab. So I decided to go with my man Golurk. Never had a chance to use this mon ever, actually. Its HP is great. Its attack is insane. Defense is there. Special attacks are relevant. Special defense is alright. And pretty slow. Abilities, I know it has Iron Fist and No Guard are probably the ones I'll be ringing. Iron Fist is nice if I want to go with those physical offensive pressure. And No Guard, I believe, for Dynamic Punch. So, its main role will be a spin blocker, but it also has some great wall breaking potential, as you guys can see with that attack stat. Earthquake, Drain Punch, so it gets fighting, ground. Gyro Ball, which could be nice since it's a slower mon. I'll have to look into which one I'll have to run over Gyro Ball or Heavy Slam. Ice Punch, Power Up Punch, Rock Polish. Doubt I'll bring Rock Polish, as it won't be able to outspeed much. Has another Rocker. Thunder Punch, so boosting up the Iron Fist. So overall, it's a mon I'm looking forward to using. So now we have Gligar, who is a mon I'm always 50-50 on. So it's going to be Ring and Eevee of Curse, of course. And its defenses are pretty good. I mean, once you get an Eevee boost, they're even better. But mainly I got this thing for a rocker, low tier defogger. Has momentum in U-turn, ground stab, but this and Golurk is kind of making me question it, so might be making some free agencies later in the season. But that's basically Gligar. I mean, I could bring a Swords Dance set, I guess, and try and catch people off guard. But there it is. So Rapidash. So nothing about Rapidash really jumps off the page. Just realized I needed a fire type for Mega Scizor, Scissoring something like Kartana. Its HP stat is pretty bad. Attack stats average, and its defenses are all average. Nice base 105 speed, and its ability Flash Fire, Flame Body. But I mean, if you look, it has access to Wild Charge, so I can semi take on some bulkier waters. Flare Blitz is nice. Drill Run, Double Edge. It has hard hitting moves that will allow me to sweep, and it has agility, so it could potentially be a sweeper. So those are all of the mons that I drafted in my CPC draft. Now overall team synergy, it's I don't know. I know there's something lacking from this team, but I just can't really put my finger on it. Honestly, now I'm looking at it, if I had to guess, I'd probably say it's my physical special split. Like all of these are physical. You're special, except you're not really going to be a sweeper. You can be special. Physical, physical, not really a sweeper, and special. So I might have to look into that. I also goofed up on my draft and have 3 unanswered points. So I'll probably be making some free agencies and hopefully be able to turn this team into a top tier team. Overall, though, I do have a lot of weapons that I can use and look forward to using this team. All right, guys. So I believe my week 1 matchup is going up tomorrow. So catch you guys later then. See ya.